Welcome to Decision Makers. Like last year, it looks like teacher compensation and pay raises for school employees is going to be another hotly debated topic for lawmakers. Already, we've heard that the 3% pay increase proposed by the governor might not be enough. Today, we'll hear from the top official of one of the state's most aggressive teachers unions about just how much money educators might receive. We'll also get her take on a study which indicates that unruly students are becoming a bigger and bigger problem. But first, with the Martin Luther King holiday coming up on Monday, we thought it might be a good time to discuss race and just how far West Virginia has come in terms of race relations. And here to help us sort that out is one of the leading authorities and one of the leading voices in the continually battle for equality, Pastor Matthew Watts from the Grace Bible Church here in Charleston. Well, Pastor Watts, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
You know, we grew up, you were down in Mount Hope, and
that's correct.
About the same time I was down in Hinton, and you know, West Virginia really is a different state today than it was then, but what's it like to be a black person in West Virginia?
It's a wonderful experience. I mean, we have certain challenges, and being one of these late baby boomers by myself, you know, I was born and raised at the time the schools were still segregated. And so I actually went to segregated elementary schools until I reached all through elementary school. I guess the last year, 6th grade, was when they were finally desegregated. And so we saw that part, you know, of segregation and some of the mistreatment, sitting in the back of the theater and those type of things. But at the same time, we saw a tremendous amount of progress from people of goodwill who realized that we may have come over on different ships. We're in the same boat now, and we got to figure out how to make this one United States and one great state of West Virginia to advance our state in a positive way. So it has challenges, but also has wonderful opportunities.
Do you sense in West Virginia, we don't have a very big diverse population in terms of really, we have like 97% white and even Hispanics and
we're the least diverse state in the union, actually, the least diverse.
And does that create opportunity? Is that a problem? I mean,
I think what it really creates, somewhat of an indifference. From a political standpoint, the African American vote normally is not large enough to swing in the election, right. So we are not given a lot of attention from politicians in terms of issues that directly impact, you know, African Americans. And the broader society very often can ignore some of the pressing pathologies and problems that affect the African American community because it's unique. 25% of the African American population in the entire state is in Kanawha County, you see, and 82% of all blacks live in 10 counties. So blacks are concentrated in specific areas, and for the most part in what we call urban communities. And so many blacks deal with the problems of an urban city where most whites are in more rural communities.
Does a black person in West Virginia have equal opportunity today?
I would say, you know, I think equal opportunity, you know, it is an ethereal hope and dream. I don't think we have equal opportunity for anyone. There's opportunity, and that hopefully people have an opportunity that's equal and commensurate with their drive, their determination, you know, and their potential. I think because of the problems facing the African American community in large numbers, particularly in places like Huntington and Charleston and Beckley and Wheeling and Martinsburg, where the concentration is, that there are pathologies in the African American community that strains the community, and it's making it difficult for people to take advantage of opportunities that may be there. And those are things we got to try to address.
Pastor Watts, do you think that given the, I'm switching over now to national politics, but given the presidential run that's taking place this year, is this a breakthrough year potentially in America for the respect of the black man?
I think so, and I think that Barack Obama is the quintessential candidate, being the son of an African father and a Caucasian mother from Kansas. He can't be any more diverse than that.
Right.
And the fact that he's trying to cast a vision of the uniting of the United States of America rather than the division or divisiveness around this issue of race. And so I think it is. It's giving people an opportunity to see what the African American community can produce in the terms of an eloquent, articulate, intelligent person that can stand in the arena of the national political debate and handle himself extremely well.
And what's so interesting, and I've heard this from Democrats, I've heard it from Republicans, I mean, people are looking at him like they looked at John F. Kennedy as a real vision of hope, and he seems to be attracting support from all aspects of our society.
Yeah. In my humble opinion, not since Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has there been an African American voice that lifts the spirits of people. And that's what Barack Obama's voice does. He has this unique ability and this energy and this enthusiasm and this infectious excitement where spirits are lifted. And so win or lose, I think he has been good for this political process, and I think it's been good for young people, both African American, Caucasian, Hispanic, Latinos, what have you, to see and to hear this voice in our political process.
You know, back when we were growing up down in southern West Virginia in 1964, we had a march in Washington led by Martin Luther King, who we are honoring this weekend. And yet, a controversy broke out last week when Hillary Clinton almost, I mean, I don't know if she was trying to, but almost diminished what I thought was a lot of work by Dr. King to get this country in a position to accept equal racial equality. What was your reaction to her comments?
I think that there are times that some whites can become so comfortable with blacks that they can become somewhat cavalier in the rich African American history. Martin Luther King, in my opinion, is the greatest person this country has produced. Now, I love Lincoln and I love Washington and Jefferson, but they had the power of the government and they had the power of the military and they had the power of resources. And Martin Luther King had the FBI, CIA, and many other organizations against all of his efforts. Right. But in light of all of that, he moved this country to have a major breakthrough on the civil rights issue. What she did not realize is that what she was saying, in essence, that it took a Caucasian man before a black man could accomplish anything. And that's the way many African Americans understood it. It was very insensitive at best, the statement that she made, but it was made to advance her political stature and saying that you need someone like me to be able to advance the issues of African American people.
Final question, do you see the day, can you visualize the day when we don't see a color difference between each other in West Virginia and America?
I certainly have the hope and I have the dream, not so much that we don't see it, but that we don't see it as being something to divide us. We see it as something that we celebrate the diversity and the differences and the value that each of the diverse people groups bring. So that's what I would hope, that we will celebrate it.
Well, Pastor Matthew Watts from the Grace Bible Church, thank you so much for being with us and honoring Dr. King. And we'll be right back after this quick break.